I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, August is halfway over, and that means September is right around the corner. So it's time for scarves, hot coffee, and Halloween, and lots of boots, and leggings, and leaves, and colder weather. I feel you, friend. I'm there too. But summer's not over yet, guys. We still got another month of summer. So we're going to talk about more summer reads. Hello everyone, I hope you liked that really horrible intro, but as I said, it's still summer. I know what you're thinking. I'm seeing all the Halloween and fall pictures and my heart is ready for that too because number one, I am over the 110-degree weather, and number two, I'm ready for my AC to have a freaking break. But summer's not over yet. Technically, summer does not end until September 22nd, at least here in the US. So what does that mean? You can still read more summer books. And what do you know? I have more summer books to recommend to you. I've already done a video talking about some of my favorite summer reads for adult books and for YA books. So if you want to check either of those out, I will link them up here and down below. But I have read a lot more since then, which means I have a lot more to recommend to you. And I think you have time. You have about, 3 or 4 more weeks before summer ends to read all of these. Do I think you can do it? Absolutely, and I would recommend all of them. Number one, first up is You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Dario. I read this a couple months ago and fell in love with it. It is the perfect summer book. This follows 2 actors, one named Jasmine and one named Ashton, and they're both kind of telenovela stars, and they basically get a chance to star in this new Netflix show where it's kind of a telenovela, and so they work together, and of course sparks fly. It's really great. It's got great Latinx representation, and it's steamy and it's romantic and it's so summery. Look at the cover. It does not just say summer, it screams it. So I highly recommend you check this one out. I believe this one got released in August or this month probably. Highly recommend you check it out. I haven't heard a ton of people talk about it, but I thought it was an amazing book for sure. Next up, another very recent read for me is One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. This one is making the rounds here on BookTube with good reason because it was just beautiful. This one is perfect for fans of reality TV, more specifically The Bachelor or Bachelorette, which I don't watch either of them, but I still love the mess out of this book. So in this book, we follow a character named Bee, who is a plus-size fashion blogger. She is very prominent in the blogger and Instagram world. Basically, she watches this show called Main Squeeze, aka The Bachelorette Bachelor. And she goes on a rant one day saying that there's not enough diversity, there's not enough body types on there, and the show has a new producer. And they call Bee and they're like, hey, we want you to be our next Main Squeeze. And so she is literally that, the next Bachelorette. And it goes through her whole time of signing up with the contract to meeting all the guys. And it's really written in kind of episode format. And you'll just fall in love with Bee so much. And you'll fall in love with a lot of the guys. And it was just an amazing book. I loved it so much. A great book to sit out on the beach, on the lake, in your AC room, wherever you're at. It was just phenomenal and I loved it dearly. Next up is A Sweet Mess by J.C. Lee. This one follows 2 characters named Aubrey and Landon. Aubrey owns this kind of cupcake bakery place and she's expanding to a new building, and basically one day, unknowns to her, this guy comes in and he orders a cake and he gets the wrong order. So he takes a bite into his cake and there's gummy worms and peanut butter and all this disgusting stuff because he accidentally got the order for a 10-year-old's birthday party. And he is a food reviewer and he writes a really scathing review about her bakery, and he didn't know he got the wrong order. Also, even before all that, him and Aubrey met the night before and hooked up, and that was pretty much it. And then she learns that, oh, hey, the guy I hooked up with also wrote a really bad review about my bakery. This is great. So in order to make up for it, because she's losing business and she's losing money, Landon invites her to this TV show place where she can bake and get money and get recognition. And of course, it's kind of like a hate to love because they liked each other at first. Then she learned that he kind of did her dirty and they fall in love again. It was really cute. I'd say if you're a fan of books that, feature bakeries and cupcakes and things like that and have a sweet tooth, this one's great. It was cute and adorable, and again, perfect to read in these last in this last summer month, in these last summer months. No, it's one more month left. That's it. Next up is The Deadly Inside Scoop by Abby Colette. Please forgive me, I left my copy in the other room. This one takes place in the winter, but I still think it's a great summer read because it's about an ice cream shop. We follow a character named Wynn who is opening up her grandmother's ice cream shop again, and everything's going okay until she finds a dead body in the snow. And then kind of a mystery goes on from there. It's a cozy mystery. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but it was just really wholesome and cute, and I loved her talking about her ice cream flavors, and it made me want to eat ice cream even more so than I already always want to do. But it was cute and adorable, and it's the first book in a brand new series, so I would recommend it if you're looking for something that's cute but also with like a cozy mystery vibe. Next up is What You Wish For by Catherine Center. This one follows a character named Samantha who is a school librarian, and she really has a good relationship with her with the principal of the school. He's kind of like a father figure to her, and then he passes away tragically and very fast, and they decide to bring in a new principal, and it turns out Samantha knows who it is. His name is Duncan. They worked together once a blue moon many years ago, and she had a huge crush on him, but he was known as the funny guy. He was hilarious, so she's like, he's gonna be a great principal. The kids are gonna love him. And then he comes in and he is completely different from the man that she knew. He's very stark and cold and wants to really focus on security and making sure the kids are safe at all times and no fun ever. So Samantha's whole trajectory in this book is to try to figure out what has happened to Duncan to make him so stone cold, literally, of what he used to be. And it was a really cute book about like blossoming love, and also about mental health, and I really enjoyed it. Catherine Center books are just easy to read, fly through. I read this in like a day because I was just reading it so fast because I love the characters so much. Next up is Paris Is Always a Good Idea by Jen McKinley. This one also comes out this month, and I read this a couple months ago and loved it. So this one we follow a character named Chelsea who lost her mother many years ago, and she's still really grieving over the process. And in that, it's made her kind of very much a hard shell. So her dad and her sister convince her to like take some time for herself and to find happiness again, because that is what her mom would have wanted. So Chelsea decides to redo this trip she went on the year before her mother got sick, where she went to Ireland, Paris, and Italy, I think. Three of those, I'm pretty sure. And basically during that year she went to those three places, and she fell in love 3 different times with 3 different guys. So she decides, hey, I'm gonna redo this trip and I'm gonna meet these guys again, and maybe I'll get happiness. So it's all about her going to see these guys again and redo the trip and figure out if one of them's meant for her. Of course, you can tell that it's not gonna be that easy, and it's definitely kind of like a hate to love romance, and I found it so great. If you love traveling books and love books that kind of has that Mamma Mia vibe, if you will, because it's like, which guy is gonna be the guy? Only with like no kid involved. This one was great, and I really loved it a ton. The last 2 books I want to talk about are really different. One's a YA that I really wanted to throw in here, and that is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. Like I said, this is a YA contemporary about 2 high school rivals that really hate each other, and then one night they have to do this like senior game where it's like a scavenger hunt and tag all in one, taking place in the city of Seattle, and it was just adorable. Such a fun read. If you love 10 Things I Hate About You, because they reference that in this book, please read this. If you want a fun book, please read this. If you want a great hate to love romance, please read this. I loved it a ton. A great YA contemporary for sure to read in the summer. Then, if you want something not cutesy, not lovey-dovey, if you want a thriller, I would recommend The Night Swim by Megan Golden. This finally came out this month. I read this all the way back in June, so I felt like I couldn't recommend it, but I love this one. I think it would be a great audiobook for you as well, in case you're going on a last-minute road trip for the summer. Hey, why not? This one features a character named Rachel who has this true crime podcast called Guilty or Not Guilty. In this season of her podcast, she's actually following an ongoing trial. So she goes to this really small town where the town's golden boy has been accused of rape, and every episode is like a day in the trial. And also with that, we have another character in this same town where I want to say her name's Hannah. Her sister died 25 years ago, and the death was ruled as a drowning. But her sister knows that she didn't die drowning. She was murdered. So she reaches out to Rachel for help. So basically you're uncovering 2 kind of murder mysteries at once, or just mysteries, I should say. One, if this town boy really did commit rape or not, and also how did this girl die years ago? Was it really did she really drown, or was it actually murder? I really enjoyed this one, and it has a podcast element into it, which is a sucker thing for me. I am always like drawn into books with podcast elements in them 1000%. Lastly, I want to talk about some books that are on my summer TBR for this month in particular that I'm planning to read because, like I said, there's still time, my friends. One is Kiss My Cupcake by Helena Hunting. This is about characters named Rowan and Blair. Blair is opening like her cupcakes and cocktails bar. I've never heard of that before. And then she's very excited for it. But then like the rowdy next door neighbor is a sports bar who's also opening up on the same day. So they butt heads. Hate to love romance with cupcakes. I'm there for that. Also, The Switch by Beth O'Leary, I'm very, very excited for. This one is more of a women's fiction, I think. It's about two women that kind of trade apartments and lives, very much like The Holiday, the Christmas movie. I'm very excited for it because I love Beth O'Leary a ton. Also, Who Killed Zoe Spanos by Kit Frigg. This is another YA mystery thriller that also has a podcast element into it. So those three, like, I would classify as summary that I'm gonna read this summer, and I'm gonna hopefully love and adore them. So yeah. Fall is coming, I know. I'm excited for it too because fall has my soul. It's my favorite season of the whole year, even though where I live, we have maybe 2 weeks of fall and it's usually at the tail end of November. Then it goes straight into cold. It's not fun, but you know, I'm gonna embrace summer for as long as I have it and read all of the cute and fluffy things. I hope you enjoyed this video of more summer reads. I would love to know if I persuaded you to read any of these books for the last month of summer. And like I said, I'm excited for fall just as much as you, but we gotta embrace summer. This makes me look like I have a cowboy hat, but it's totally like one of those like sun gardener's hats. I don't know, I wear it at the beach because it's still summer. Bye guys.